dive into our ankle workshop. There's a few of you that haven't been at workshops with us, mainly this side of the room. This side of the room has been. So we apparently segregated that way.
One of the reasons why we do these workshops is because research shows that why people stop going to their gym or cancel their membership is because of injury. That's the number one reason why people, they quit. And we don't want you guys quitting. We want you guys to stay active, happy, healthy, and enjoy the community here. So that's probably our main focus, our main goal, because we want you to stay here because this is, like I said, this is the greatest gym in San Diego. So we're going to be talking about freedom from ankle pain. We went around the room. Sounds like a couple people have some nagging ankle pain or maybe even swelling at the end of the day, or issues with running, squatting. Maybe you have to make modifications to your exercises. All we're going to do is, if you do have a painful ankle and stuff like that, just kind of, first we'll have you do this. We'll see if you can just kind of move it side to side. Any pain with just moving side to side? Any issues there, anyone? Okay, awesome, awesome. What about if you were to go like that? Any pain in through there? Anyone have any pain there? A little bit? A little bit? Okay, so we got two people. What about you? Tight, but not too painful. Okay, cool. Okay, so we got some good ideas. We're going to show you a rock tape technique or Kinesio tape if you got K tape, whatever. It's just basically a stretchable tape. It is super good for pain and swelling as well as for bruising. So we'll just kind of see one side versus the other. Oh yeah. So you can tell she does have some swelling in through there. And then go and bring this one down. Okay, so maybe this will help you, and also too, we'll probably do the other tape technique maybe at the end, towards the end of the time. Okay. I think we'll probably pull up Steve for the next one, but we'll do it too. You can always combine these things, so you can stack them. If you got swelling, let's say, and getting relief from the next taping technique that I'm going to show you, you can always do both. So we'll end up doing both on her eventually too, so she'll get some extra relief. Basically, you'll take your roll of rock tape, Kinesio tape, KT tape, whatever you got, and you're going to want to cover the swollen area, and it's going to look kind of like fingers, like a little basket weave. So, and you're going to put 25% stretch on the tape. So I'm just going about right here to just kind of mark where we're at. Really, I'm going to start it up a little bit higher so that I can get some stretch and pull it down and through there, because the stretch is what actually kind of pulls on the swelling rhythmically while she moves to pump the blood back into circulation as well as up into one of the systems, the lymphatic system, so that she can essentially pee out the fluid or absorb in other parts of her body. So, got that, and go and bring this down. Good. So I'm going to make two strips because you got to make like a basket weave like I was talking about. So folding it in half. Tape on. Yeah. So rock tape is my favorite out of all of them. So rock tape, KT tape is probably one of the cheaper ones. It comes off really easily. Kinesio tape's a little more expensive, but it lasts kind of good. But rock tape I feel like is the stickiest out of all of them. That's why I use it. And it usually lasts about 3 to 5 days. So you can shower with it on and then either just let it air dry or you can dab it dry with your towel, sort of a thing. And surprisingly, it stays on really good. For the foot and ankle, when you come see me at the clinic, I have this spray that's like some extra sticky adhesive spray. And I'll usually, if it's a foot and ankle, I'll usually do that because it's just so, because you go in and out of socks, in and out of shoes, so it usually comes off a little easier. So you can always get like an extra sticky adhesive spray too. Or you can just retape it if you got extra tape. Okay, so then I'll kind of tear off that front part because that's going to be your anchor, where it's going to anchor to. And then, like I said, it's going to go a little bit higher so we can put some stretch on it, so it's not going to be down there. We're going to put it up through here. So we'll start it right there. And then I'm going to put about 25% stretch on it. So while I'm laying it down, I'm going to be putting a little bit of stretch on it. And basically we're going to try and enclose this whole area right in through here. So we'll kind of get the top border right there. Yep, and I'm kind of stretching it. Looks like I didn't quite cover this area as much as I wanted to, so I'm going to kind of go there a little bit because I was running out of room down here, and I'm like, all right, that's a little bit better, got a little bit more coverage. Okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit higher so we can put some stretch on the tape. And then, like I said, it's gonna be kind of like a basket weave sort of a thing. So I'm gonna try and come off the swollen areas, just stretching it about 25% while I'm laying it down. If you overstretch it, you may have like a skin irritation to it. You'll feel it get kind of itchy or feel like a sunburn. Just get it wet, like hop in the ocean or shower, and then just peel it off nice and slow if you're getting that sunburn, itchy kind of feeling.
Yeah, don't yank this tape off just rip it off like a Band-Aid. It will take skin with it. Definitely a get wet and peel off sort of tape.
So this is going to be something you want to wear for 5 days?
Boom, 3 to 5 days, as long as you can keep it on.
5 days.
And then after you get it in through there, then you got to kind of create a little bit of heat to make the adhesive stick a little bit better. It gets in the nooks and crannies when you put a little heat on it. So I'm just going to kind of rub it till you feel a little bit of heat. And that makes it stick a little bit better. If the things start peeling off, you can always trim them off during the next couple of days. Okay, so that is that one right there. And we'll actually see how it goes over the course of the rest of the workshop. And then we'll see at the end, you may see where the tape's at, that there's less swelling, and then where the tape's not, it may still be a little bit puffy, but then that starts to kind of resolve over time. Also too, if you do have ankle swelling, you can always, like after a workout, either go lay down and get your foot above your heart, throw an ice pack on it, and maybe pump your ankles up and down. That'll help kind of promote the decrease in the swelling too as well. So that's that taping technique. So it looks kind of like regular athletic tape, but it's not. It's kind of like almost like a waterproof, water-resistant consistency, and it is extra sticky, just like the rock tape. So you can leave this stuff on for a few days too as well. I kind of tore it a little bit. You want to pass it around and see what it feels like. You'll notice that's not just regular athletic tape. Okay, which ankle is it? All right. So it is easiest to do when someone does it for you. So basically, what you'll do is we're going to find where the most amount of play that the ankle is. So you can always have someone else do it. You guys could maybe even do it on each other in a minute. If we got some time afterwards, we can kind of go around and show you guys. But basically, it's like, we'll bring this down. Any pain with that?
Not particularly.
Good, good. So here's the other side, just so we can show you. It's like if I push up on that little part of that little knuckle bone right there, the distal fibula. If I push up on it, nothing happens really, not a whole lot. If I push back on it, some stuff happens, not too much. But if I push up and back at the same time, we get the most amount of play. We can move it around. That's exactly where you're going to want to get that tape in through there. So basically about that angle. Everyone's a little bit different. Everyone's ankle's a little bit different. So that's why you can always play around, see where you get the most play. It's about right there on this ankle, so it's that direction. But let's check out the affected one. And did you say you had pain with moving your ankle in?
Slightly.
Okay, so go ahead and move it in. Good, so a little pain there?
No.
Okay.
Maybe there. Yeah.
Not too bad?
Not too bad.
Gotcha. But I think you had a little bit of pain when you moved your ankle, when you like this sort of a thing.
Yeah.
What about with like squats? What about like
I
squat?
did front squats today. It was the first squats I had done in the month, and so it was a little bit. But as I went through this different sets, it got better.
Okay,
but I did
so
pretty light.
felt a little better. Okay, cool. So basically, what we'll do is we're going to have him retest a little bit at the end, kind of pushing his foot out to the side and see if there's less pain after we do the tape, which there most likely will, because when you sprain your ankle, typically it's the ATFL, the anterior talofibular ligament, the one on the front right through there. Could be that one or that one, but this one's feeling the most swollen. Is that where it's kind of like the most tender too, if I push on it, compared to here?
Yes, the first one was.
First one? Yeah. And there's some philosophies about why that is. Basically, with this philosophy is that there is a positional fault of the fibula. It gets jammed forward and gets kind of stuck right there. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to correct that fibula by taping it up and back into its normal position where it likes to be. And you can always tell by test and retest. If he's having pain, if I just come in through here, is it painful? What about in through here? Not too bad. Good. So then we'll have to do a weight-bearing test. All right, go ahead and relax. All right, so we'll find the play. We'll see where it's at. About right in through there. So that's the angle that I'm going to tape it. And when you do it yourself, you pretty much do the same thing after you kind of know, and usually it's just kind of up and back sort of thing. You're going to be wanting to have your foot in a maximum dorsiflex position, which I'm going to show you, which dorsiflexion is the ability to move your ankle backwards. So either if you have good hamstring length, you can kind of come down, squat down, and do it on your own, or if you don't have good hamstring length, you can put your foot up and you can do it on an elevated surface, but preferably get good hamstring length. So, but you guys all do good stretches here in Cali for Fit. Everyone that I've evaluated has fine hamstrings, so you guys should be good to go just doing it that direction. All right, so I'll find kind of that angle that I liked it at, which is about like that. I'm going to kind of put the anchor side on. I'm going to kind of straighten out your leg, doing okay in the hamstring. Good. And then I'm going to bring his foot into a maximum dorsiflexion, so coming up through here. Yep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glide that fibula, which basically if you're doing it on your own, you kind of squeeze your own foot while you're doing it. You'll see with the video when you download it. And then I'm just going to give it a nice glide up and back. Nice squeeze. I'm also going to tension the tape with me. I'm going to bring it up and across, and then I'm going to hold it right there. Boom, we got all the tension in through there. And then I'm just going to lay the rest on so it doesn't like cut off circulation or anything like that. Just like the other one, I'm going to produce some heat, get in the nooks and crannies. Waxing. And if you guys see me in the clinic, I always give haircuts. I got little trimmers for hairy guys. Luckily Steve's not too hairy. Okay, and then I'm going to bring him back. And basically, that is how it looks right in through there. Go ahead, stand on up, Steve. Okay. How's it feel walking and moving around? Good. Feel a little bit more supported? Good, good. Now go ahead, kind of come into this position and let me know. How's it feel? Same, better, or worse than before? It's better. Perfect. Awesome. Cool, cool. So, great success, and that's usually the way we find it too. If he's having issues just coming in through here, I would do a quick mobilization technique that would kind of help out with that. But we're going to segue into, okay, I know how to tape my ankle. It works. It helps. I'm able to run with it. You can always do it like right before your running activity, so long as it's not painful. Pain is destruction, so basically modify until then. But if you're like, the tape works, awesome. Now I want to stop wearing the tape. So I'm going to show you guys an exercise on how to stop wearing the tape. Basically, if you look at the anatomy, how I was talking about pushing that fibula back, kind of back and up on the distal end right here. The tibialis anterior, which is your main ankle dorsiflexor, so the one that brings your foot up and down right here, it's that front of your shin bone right here. It attaches up through here and through here. So when you do this exercise, what it does is it actually pulls on this end, which pulls that end forward. Pulling that end forward causes this end to get pulled backwards. So essentially what you do is you increase tone into that muscle. Has anyone ever done so many bicep curls that after they did them all, like couldn't even straighten out their elbows all the way because their biceps were too tight? So that's exactly what happens when you build a lot of tone into a muscle. It kind of turns on and it stays on throughout the day. So if that taping technique is supporting your ankle, this exercise essentially is going to turn that on to put the bone in the position of the tape. So basically this is what it looks like. Yep, everyone get on a wall, find a wall in the front or the back.
So your feet are on the soft.
All right. Yep, come on in. Totally. So in order for this exercise to work, it's going to, basically you're going to start feeling a burn in the front part of the shin bone after about 15 to 20 of them. If you're not feeling that burn in the front part of the shin bone, you're going to make the exercise harder by standing a little bit further away from the wall. So I'm going to stand about right here. You guys can kind of test it out, see how it feels. The closer you are, the easier it is. The further your feet get away from the wall, the harder it is. So I'm going to start midway, kind of maybe about right here. And then this is how you do it. You flex your toes up, and then you hold for 2 seconds, and then you bring them back down. And then you go again. Hold for 2 seconds, and bring them back down. That's 2. We're going to go up to 25. There's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. If you're already burning, you may want to scoot back against the wall a little bit more. 6.
Oh, we can retape it.
Yeah, we can always retape it, Steve. 7.
Sometimes if there's lotion or sweat.
8. 9. 10.
Anybody getting burned yet? Good.
11.
I feel it in my ankle though.
Right where it's painful sort of a thing? Or,
Well, like I feel the shin, but then I feel just so I don't know what it is.
okay, more of a sensation?
Yeah.
Okay, like an awareness? Yeah, that's okay, as long as you're not getting any sharp pains in that ankle. But you may want to scoot back a little bit since you're already getting a little bit of burn in the front of that shin. I lost count, I think we're about 15 or 16?
25.
25? You even do? Okay. And if you're not feeling a burn by now, then you're going to scoot a little bit further away from the wall. Is everyone getting a burn in the front of their shins? Everybody? Yes. Yeah? Not too much over here, Kara? Well, you can scoot your feet away from the wall.
My heels hurt too, yeah.
If you got the burn, you can go ahead and stop. If you don't got the burn, scoot your feet further away from the wall and maybe do 5 or 10 more until you do get the burn. Starting to feel it now, Kara? Yeah. There you go. Do 5 more then. Yeah, so sometimes people get shin splints of the tibialis anterior, so that right in through there, but most commonly people get shin splints right in through here. They'll call that one medial tibial stress syndrome, but really it could be of any muscle of your foot and ankle. So it's like you got a manual muscle test, like 12 different muscles and figure out which one it is, and then you got to kind of go from there. So yeah, it depends. If you had shin splints coming from that tibialis anterior, this might make it a little worse. It would be like, oh, that's irritating it, that's making it worse, and then you'd want to figure out you'd want to work some other things out.
Okay, so how often should they do this?
Okay, so it's also in the ebook. So basically you're going to do either one set of 25 to where you start burning around 15 to 20, 1 to 3 times a week. So if you've never done it before, I would recommend once or twice a week at first, and then maybe getting up to maximum of 3 times, so you're doing it like every other day sort of a thing. Or let's say you're doing that and that's when you want to do your activity sort of a thing, and it's already a little bit sore. You can try the activity, and from doing the exercise, muscles a little bit sore. You may be able to try the activity, still getting a little bit of pain. You may be able to just do like 10 of them or something so you don't irritate it too much, and then try the activity again, and then you'll probably get some relief. But both of those are on the ebook. So it's like either 10 for a warm-up, 10 for a cool-down, or just one set of 25, 1 to 3 times a week. That one's my favorite because just like, just do it every other day. Just wake up in the morning, maybe stretch first, like you were talking about. Stretch the calves out, knee straight, knee bent, get that range, and then work through the range. But that's my favorite. So, lastly, some of the things that we're going to be covering. It's like, all right. Yep, go ahead and come on back, circle around. So it's like, okay, my ankle's feeling pretty good. I can do this now. I'm not getting too much swelling by the end of the day because I'm working my exercises, elevating, icing, doing whatever taping I got to do. You're like, I can squat, feels good, still can't do jumping jacks. Or I can run, but I still can't run on the beach. It's like, okay, it's like, well then we just got to find a way to bridge the gap. And how you're going to bridge the gap are with various proprioceptive and balance activities that incorporate getting from a large base of support down to a narrow base of support, down to switching more towards single limb support, and then eventually getting to single limb support. So we'll try a couple things maybe in tandem. Everyone stand up and see if they can get in just a tandem stance. It'll be a little bit harder if you're on the yoga mats compared to the solid surface. And the one that's in back typically are going to put the most weight on, so that one will probably be a little bit more challenging than the other side depending on your ankle injury. How's it feel comparison, Steve? One side versus the other?
Which one should be in the back?
Well, you're going to do both sides eventually, but you'll probably notice that the ankle that gives you the most problems, when it's in the back, you're maybe doing this a little bit more compared to a little bit of both. So this would be a good exercise for you to do while you're just brushing and flossing your teeth, just as long as you're able to hold on to the countertop, keeping a finger on or something. Brush your teeth, or just watching TV, just hang out, or if you're like listening to audiobook. So once you get tandem stance down and you're like, this is all good, well, it's like, well, I mean, tandem stance is basically a prerequisite to get to single limb support. Everyone should be able to stand on one foot because you walk around all day, and when you're walking around, you're standing on one foot. When you're running, you're standing on one foot for extended periods of time. If you have trouble with tandem stance and you have trouble with single limb support, you're going to be having trouble when you're walking throughout the day. You're just not going to know it. So things are going to start creeping up on you. It's going to be like, because literally, this is an exaggeration, your knees are going to be doing this when you're walking at a lower scale, and you're not even going to be aware of it. It's just micro movements that kind of compound and then eventually give you more problems over time. Lots of progressions. It's like, okay, well, it's like you can go on the foam mat sort of a thing. Yep, that's what I did on the ground. You can try single leg. You can try one foot in front of the other. And then it makes it a little bit more challenging because it's an unstable surface. You guys are welcome to come up here, try these things also too. We brought some half foam rolls. So you can try these guys, tandem stance. You guys can try out. Yeah, so try it out, try the half foam rolls, try the foam, see how it feels to go on single leg, one foot in front of the other, all that good stuff. And then after that, I'll show you the Bosu Ball stuff.
We'll teach you a strengthening exercise for that in a second.
So just practicing that single leg while you're brushing your teeth. If your ankle starts getting a little sore, maybe switch to the tandem with that right foot in the back sort of a thing. While you're watching TV, listening to an audiobook or a motivational speaker or whatever you do. I listen to a lot of motivational speakers and audiobooks. So then there you go. You can always bring it back if that one's a little too challenging. So that's a way of doing it. But then kind of the last of it is the Bosu Ball. I love the Bosu Balls because it creates that unstable surface. But also too, since most commonly someone sprains their ankle going to the side like that, what you can do is you can also stand on the side of the ball, and you don't necessarily, I wouldn't recommend Steve do it right now since he's already struggling on single limb support on stable ground. So try the opposite ankle that's not painful, and you can always just try and stand on top of it with one foot, or you can even try to do the tandem stance on top of it. Make sure you got someone with you so they can kind of grab onto you, or you can always do it against the wall. You can grab and put them against the wall. So that's one way of doing it, standing on top. You can even eventually start doing dynamic exercises coming up through here on the unstable surface to simulate running on the beach. Or even too, Tato and Jillian have really good exercises like this one, where you're standing right here, and then you go down, and then you go back up.
So maybe what if somebody has pain during some of those exercises in the workouts when they do like single leg with the TRX or exercises like that? What would you recommend they do?
So I would recommend them to somehow regress the activity. So like if they're having pain doing like this exercise sort of a thing, that's a little bit much. They can always maybe just stand on it like this, and then maybe just kickstand out, just barely coming off onto one foot if they have ankle pain. Or you can even try and practice the standing on one leg sort of a thing. If you're having trouble with the TRX single leg stuff, yep, you can always go, if you're having trouble doing this sort of thing, you can always go double leg. You can also kickstand sort of thing too, and give it a little bit more support with a little bit of a kickstand. So just gotta modify. But yeah, basically once you're doing really good with your foot and ankle and stuff like that, and you're like I'm ready to do the challenge sort of a thing, it's all good. Then you can start trying to stand on one leg on the side of the Bosu Ball, maybe touching with one foot against the wall, whatever, because I don't want you spraining your ankle, and then eventually standing on one foot like this. And then basically when you get good at that, if you're going to go on a hike, I told Coach Tato this. I was like, you could do a warm-up, maybe the knees over the toes thing against the wall, and then get on the Bosu Ball and get on the side of it, and then just practice your balance on it until you feel your ankle fatiguing, like it starts to burn in there. Maybe do 2 sets of that, and then go on your hike.
Just kind of wakes up the muscles and says, hey, we're going to be more.
Or you could always make it more dynamic and doing this sort of thing.
What if I don't have one of those balls?
You could probably use a pillow. Maybe fold it in half, and then kind of come off the edge of one side of the pillow. You can bring it, like I said, against the walls too, so you have something to grab onto. That's probably a good idea, to be completely honest. So coming up here, maybe standing on both feet, and then just see how it feels. Straighten the knees out, knees See how that goes? Try it out, Steve. She's doing pretty good. And that gets really easy for you, and you're like, this piece of cake's not irritating my ankle at all. Then you'd probably want to start standing on the Bosu Ball on the side with the single with a single foot, yeah, or in the center, sort of a thing. And then eventually you'd want to work your way up to doing that dynamic one, so that stepping up, no hands, sort of a thing. Side eventually, but be careful. You got the wall right. Sweet. So all those things are kind of in the ebook, like I was talking about. We got some good diagrams and stuff like that on all the different stuff.
What exercise do you think their challenge is centered around?
Oh my God.
No, you guys got it.